Hey guys, Ben again. So we're going to do one last one. One last photo from this series of workshop photos. And we're going to do this one here of Neil and Helen. Love this one just because you can sort of see a whole lot of fun and they're nice and warm and snuggly. I kind of like this one. This is cool. It shows kind of where we are as well inside the little chapel at Crew Hall, and I just really like this one. How the arch sort of frames them within a frame. So yeah. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to run retouch. So I'm going to run the whole panel, and away we go. And once again, if you want retouch from me, you can get it for 20% off at checkout. And the discount code and the link will be in the description below. Okay, so retouch for me has run its panel and done its thing. Let's zoom in, have a bit of a look here. Just going to check skin tone again. So we've lost a little bit of skin tone out of both of the couples. So I'm just going to add a bit of that back in. So again, black brush, go to 100%, and I'm going to pop that back in right here on Helen's cheek and over here on Neil and in his ear as well. Fingernails. All right, cool. So I'm pretty happy with all the rest of it. Retouch has done a pretty good job with fixing any little spots that we have here, which is good. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. So we're going to flatten this. All right. So once again, this was a photo taken at the 5-day workshop. This is not my photo. Not sure who took this one, but I really like this. There's just one little posing challenge here. It's just we can see the wider part of Helen's wrist. But I love how Neil's got his leg bent. Unfortunately, he's got his phone in his pocket, so we might try and get rid of that as well. So there's just a few little things that we want to do with this shot. Just looking at it, it is quite brightly lit because the flash on these guys was come from up in this top corner up here and has blown back and illuminated pretty much all of the background and stuff. So we want to illuminate the background. We want to darken down the background because it's quite illuminated. I want to pull a whole lot of contrast out of it, and also want to light up these, light up the windows here a little bit more, and see if we can maybe get some light rays or something coming through there. We'll get a bit creative with this one. So, all right. So first thing I'm going to do is just have a bit of a look over. There's nothing really too challenging that I need to fix in here so much. So I think what we're going to do first is I'm going to create a layer and we're going to darken the background down. So we're going to make it a luminosity layer, and then we're going to just darken the background down a bit here. I don't want to go too crazy, but also at the same time too, we are going to pull contrast out of this. So what's going to happen is when we pull the contrast out, it will lighten up a bit. So I'm happy with that. In levels, there we go. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that layer. Okay, so now I'm going to add a layer mask to that one. I'm just going to see what the difference is between normal and luminosity. I think I actually prefer normal. So we're going to go normal on this one, on this layer. Then I'm going to come in here and we're going to pull out the contrast. And I'll just just drop the brightness back just a little bit. So there we go. We've pulled out a fair bit of illumination from the back of this frame, from the background. I think I still want to go a little bit more. So I'm going to just take a little bit more out, just to about there. And then I'm going to come back up here again, and we're going to take out more contrast. Not so much this time. Cool, that's about enough there. All right, so now if we're turning that on and off, we've darkened that back pretty significantly. So now what I'm going to do is just go back in, and we're just going to brighten up a few little areas so that we're not losing all the detail in those areas. So once again, we want to rub out the layer mask, so we're going to use a black brush. I'm going to use a black brush at about 35%, and I'm just going to rub out some of this area up here just to bring back a bit of the detail up here. So I have done a couple of passes over this at 35%. So what we'll probably find is inevitably we're probably at 100. We've taken 100% of it away, but that's okay. I'm good with that. Then what we're going to do at about 50%, just want to illuminate up here just to give these lights a bit more light. And then what we're going to do is go back to 100, and I'm going to bring these windows back because I love the windows in this little chapel. They're very cool. So all we're doing is just rubbing out the layer mask. Now once again, I'm not a fine art editor or anything like that. Just general day-to-day stuff is where I'm at, and I get a bit of a kick out of, doing something a little bit creative like this. Even though not my photo, and I was the one that taught the workshop, unfortunately I wasn't able to take a lot of photos because I was teaching. So the beauty of that is I get to have a bit of a play with some of the photos that the attendees gave me, and I can also give some of these photos to the venue and the models, which I'm pretty happy about. So just bringing back some of these windows. They're a little bit hard to see because it is quite dark. So if I can just get my bearings. There we go. All right, there we go. So what we might also do, I might just take it back to about 70%, and we'll come up here and we'll add a bit back in there, because what I'm planning later will then make sense. All right. So what we're also going to do is we're going to go back to 100%, and we're going to bring back Neil and Helen in the shot. So just being a little bit careful here. Again, the beauty of a layer mask is if we do go a bit too much or we're a bit heavy-handed, it's okay, because we can just change the brush and rub it back in, which is always super handy. Now, once again, there's probably a much better way of doing this, but for me, this is the way that I've kind of taught myself. This is the way that I've learned how to do it. And so we'll just go this way. But once again, if you've got a better way to do this, by all means. If you know a better, quicker, more exciting way for you, do that. Because there will be a few little things that I need to fix after doing this, where I've gone maybe a little bit heavy-handed. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how that looks. They, Neil and Helen, both do look a little bit bright potentially in the in this frame now. So what we may do is just take the luminosity of them down just a little bit. So I'm just going to make another layer, and this one will be luminosity, and I'm just going to take this down just a little bit. Just to about there, I think, because I do want a little bit of fall off, a bit of light fall off. So what I'm actually going to do now is, with this one, we're going to rub out a little bit. So we're not going to go full. We've got about 68%, and then I'm just going to take it off here and just let the light fall off just a little bit, so it looks more realistic and the light's sort of falling a little bit nicer. What I also want to do, just in thinking about what I'm planning with moving forward with the lights and that sort of stuff, what I want to do is just highlight a little bit of this archway in here, because I want the light, I'm going to try and make the light come through the archway a little bit. So all I'm going to do is, with the black brush, I'm just going to rub out just a little bit of that around the edge here. There we go. All right, cool. So like how that looks, I'm pretty happy with that. What I am going to do now is create another layer of this one, and then we're going to brighten it up, because I want to use the windows. No, sorry, wrong layer. Let's delete that one. Okay, so we want to create actually, I'm happy with those two, so we're just going to merge those two. Cool. And then I'm going to create another layer here, and we're going to brighten this up. Because I want the light to come through those, to be appearing to be coming through those windows. hopefully this will work. So let's go this way. There we go. All right, so now we are going to create a layer mask. Going to invert that layer mask. And then once again, we're going to remove that from the lights. Or we're going to paint that in. So my apologies. So there we go, paint that in, paint that one in, paint that in. Now I'm not too concerned if it's a little bit rough, like that, it's not a big problem. Just want to create a little bit of a point of difference here. Not going to go 100% at the top here. Let's just go about 50 and we'll brighten that up. And what we'll also do is just brighten this part up here. All right. Cool, I like that. All right. So where that is now, I kind of like that just as it is now. That looks pretty good. I have a bit of an idea for some light rays. Don't know if it's going to work, but let's give it a shot. Light rays. And I'm thinking maybe that one actually. Let's just see if that's going to work. What we can do is edit, flip it vertical, because I want these light rays to appear to be coming out of these lights here, which would make sense. And given the shape of these particular light rays, I'm hoping that they will actually work. So if I put that to screen, we may be able to create something here. All right, so what I want to do is make the light appear to be coming out of these windows. So I need to just transform this bottom section here a little bit. Essentially making it a little bit bigger at the bottom here. Kind of like that. And then we might spread it at the top here a little bit as well. Just do the same. All right. So now we need to work out a blender mode for this. Normally I would use screen, but that's potentially not going to work too well here. Yeah, so we might have to go screen. But what I'm going to do then, I am going to reduce that down in opacity. I'm also going to put a color layer over the top. So I'm going to select this yellow here, and then I'm going to add solid color, yellow. Okay, I'm going to put it above, and I'm going to apply it to this bottom layer. So all it is option and click to apply it to this layer here. And if we make that screen, that's not going to help. Linear burn. Multiply. So I'm going to make our color layer multiply. That's going to be sitting on top of our screen light layer, if that makes sense. Hopefully this will work and not look trash, but we'll find out. So it's I'm going to merge these two together now. Merge layers. Cool. So that's going to go back to normal. So I'm going to go back to screen with that. Then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the yellow out of it. Cool. And pull just a little bit of lightness out of it. Okay. So now layer mask, and then we need to remove this yellow from the places where potentially it wouldn't be. So because we've got light rays that are coming up from about here, I'm going to rub out a fair bit of it. So we're going to go, excuse me. So we're going to go black brush at, I'm going to go 100% just for the bottom parts. And I'm going to rub this out. I don't want to have too sharp a line. And I'm also curious whether I want the light rays coming over this section or not. I'm kind of feeling like I don't, just by the way that it's going to look that way. But we do want those kind of light rays coming in on the inside of the arch here, obviously. So I'm just taking a little bit out. And we also want to remove it to a degree where it wouldn't necessarily be. So it's quite shadowy here, but it's quite bright here. So I want to remove a bit in here. Remove a little bit there. So they are at 100% now. So we don't really want that much in there. Just want a little bit just to get the idea. 60. We might go to about 68, I think. No, actually we'll go a little bit less. Go to 60. All right, so go to 58. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to save this as a PSD. Save a copy, PSD, save. The reason I'm saving a PSD is because if by chance later on down the track I decide I don't like the light rays, we can just do that. And we're all good. So I'm going to flatten that now. I'm okay with that light. It looks fairly plausible because like there was a flash down below and it's shooting light up. Helen and Neil are nice and sharp in the frame. There's not really much more I feel like I want to add. We'll try a bit of image pop, see what that does. kind of like how that looks on certain parts of the frame, but not all of it. So I like how it looks on the inside here where the lights are, or where the windows are, but not so much on the rest of the frame. So we might just do a bit of rubbing out. Once again, black brush, 100%. And I'm just going to go around the outside, take it off them, and we're just going to do that. I just want a little bit of light still in there. And taking the contrast off them. Cool. All right, so I'm going to flatten that. I'm happy with that. Feeling like I want a little bit more glow up here, a little bit more yellow glow. So I'm going to go to my brush, going to go to overlay, and if we do a test at 100%, that's pretty crazy. So let's drop that back down to about 15, and let's just paint in a bit of that yellow just there. Cool with that. And what we might just do is pop a little bit of yellow just around here as well. There we go. All right, and I'm pretty happy with that. Don't really need to do anything else to that. I'm just looking through, soften, selective, sharpen. I don't really think we even need to sharpen this either, because Neil and Helen are pretty sharp in this. And if we do sharpen it, I think it's going to go a bit overboard. I don't want to soften, don't want to do a frame soften at all. So I think we're good. I'm pretty happy with this, and we're going to save this as a JPEG. Save as JPEG. Save. I'm just going to save over the original one. Cool, and there we go. So there is that one done. Kind of like that. Just wanted to try something a little bit different there. Whether you like it or not, I don't know. It's all very subjective, but I like that one. And congrats, well done to whoever shot it. All right, thanks guys.